Well, as kids return to school, there's one supplement doctors say helps protect the immune system. We're going to look at the medicinal benefits of zinc. And here to explain today is Dr. Chad Domang, a local neurologist, to give us some of those answers. Welcome, Doc. How are you?
Hey, good afternoon, Liz. Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. So what exactly is zinc, and why is it seen as an important supplement to help people's immune system, especially kids?
Yeah, it's really gotten the limelight recently. It's an essential mineral, again, on the periodic table. It's important to growth, our immune function, maturation, all these type things. The thing that's interesting about zinc is worldwide, 2 billion people are estimated to be deficient, about 20% of the population. And when you look specifically at kids, with them going back to school, there are very good studies in underdeveloped countries where children taking zinc get 40–30% less incidence of acute respiratory infections. Now, you can't extrapolate that to COVID-19, but you can see where the interest lies, especially with our kids going back to school.
So how exactly does this work when it comes to viruses?
So zinc has a lot of actions. So it can destroy the virus itself, it can keep the virus from attaching, but it also reduces the inflammation of the lungs and the nasal cavity. So you can see how these types of effects are very interesting when you look at COVID-19 with the respiratory issues. And there's actually a study I pulled from April of 2019 that showed in vitro, so in a lab, that zinc actually stopped the replication of a coronavirus in a test tube in a lab.
That's interesting. What is a recommended dosage, and what are the issues if you take too much of this?
So the recommended dosage for adults about 40–50 milligrams a day. For a child, depending on their weight, you're looking at anywhere from 10 to 20 milligrams a day. The big caution is, just like you said, there is a toxic dose. You got to take very high doses, about 150–300 milligrams a day. But what it does, it affects copper and iron, so it can cause blood issues, and it can cause neurologic problems such as imbalance or neuropathies and things like that.
So before you take something like this, I mean, we always stress you really need to check with your doctors, because some people are on different types of medications or they have different underlying conditions. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely. It can also interact with some medications, so they definitely need to check with their physicians.
In addition to taking a zinc supplement, are there foods you can eat to give you the equivalent in the immunity boost from zinc?
Yeah, so being a Houma native, I love this. Oysters are the largest amount of zinc of any food. Meats, fish, dairy. Vegans actually have lower zinc because wheat and some cereals can have it, but it doesn't have as much zinc as meats. The thing that was very interesting when I looked at all this, if you look at the population of developed countries, which is obviously the United States, our elderly are the ones that have the lowest amount of zinc over the general population.
What forms can you take this? I mean, can you find it, for example, in different types of vitamin C packages, or do you need to take it alone? And is it worth, pursuing this path if you get the okay from your doctor, given that you really need to be healthy now of all other times?
Yeah, the million-dollar question. And the thing that I was taken back from looking at these studies, the fact that they knew in vitro in a lab 2019 that this could be a possibility against coronavirus. Here we are in 2020, especially in the elderly, where we know they're being ravaged the most by this virus. There's no major large-scale studies being done on zinc against COVID-19, which just was mind-boggling to me. But if you look at the data on other viruses, that 40 milligram dose to 50 milligram dose, as long as you don't have other issues, those are safe doses. But I can't sit here and tell you it's going to make a difference because we don't have the data. But there's certainly enough interesting stuff from labs, other viruses, that gives a lot of, positive ideas that we can use zinc to definitely, and especially in our elderly, that we know are deficient in this mineral, make a difference.
So it's something that you would recommend asking your doctor about overall?
Yeah, I think talk to your doctor. From my end, if you're healthy and you're doing well, I think, there's no reason to take it. If you're deficient, obviously you should take it. But if you just want to be super precautious, you want to take a 40 milligram dose or have your child take a 10 milligram dose, I don't see any problem with that as long as you're not going to these super high doses. But again, just looking at the literature, I can't tell you definitively it's going to make a difference. But there's certainly enough evidence to give you a reason to do those things.
Thank you so much, Dr. Chad. Always enlightening. Appreciate it.
All right, Liz. Thank you so much.
Thank you.